everyone's name and their common ailments. Doc was set on not having a fuss made over his departure, but neither could he leave like a thief in the night. His housekeeper for all the years he was in residence, who often as not was called into the surgery to assist, made no secret that she felt betrayed and abandoned. And oh yes, there was the town to consider. Her way of expressing her disapproval and displeasure was to organize a farewell celebration of bacchanalian proportions. The good citizens of Frost Falls mourned the loss of their doctor with dancing and feasting and plenty of alcohol, which provided the catalyst for what became Jeremiah Salt's first 2-day bender under Ben's sole oversight. No one blamed Mary Cherry because it was well known that Jeremiah did not require much in the way of provocation, and because Mary Cherry was so obviously crying in her beer. Doc assured anyone who asked that arrangements had already been made for a replacement. His patients were not comforted to hear it. Who, after all, could replace him? To ease their minds, he gave them a name. Dr. E. Ridley Woodhouse, a graduate of his alma mater, the Boston University School of Medicine, where he was returning to teach. In fact, Dr. Woodhouse's father was a former classmate of his and was now a professor at the university. No one was particularly mollified by that news. What would be a homecoming of sorts for Doc was still an uncertain future for the folks who had been under his care. Even more unsettling, they were able to deduce from the information that their new physician was on the youngish side. They either did not remember, or did not care to remember, that once upon a time Dr. Dunlop had been on the youngish side himself. It was when Ben accompanied Doc to the station for his departure a few weeks ago that the doctor elicited Ben's promise to meet Woodhouse on arrival and offer support throughout the transition. In his mind, Ben imagined that he would either amble or mosey, he was not sure of the distinction, down to the station so as not to give any impression of urgency or anxiety regarding the new doctor's arrival. That was impossible now. Neither ambling nor moseying would get him there on time. Ben dropped the chair on all 4 legs, resettled his hat on his head, and shoved the stool aside. He jumped to his feet, wavering just a bit as he was still recovering his senses, and then started south toward the station. He had a long stride that quickly covered the planked sidewalk, and he had to force himself to shorten his steps so as not to attract attention. Still, by the time he passed Maxwell Wayne's bakery, he was once again moving at what most observers would characterize as a brisk pace. He slowed a second time, took a moment here and there to exchange pleasantries with Mrs. Preston, who, judging by the warm scent emanating from the bakery box dangling from her fingertips, was carrying cinnamon buns, and Miss Rehnquist, who sought his opinion regarding her new straw hat. Was it sitting at the proper angle on her head? Should she have chosen a black ribbon over the royal purple? Did it complement her age? The answers were yes, no, and your age complements the hat. Miss Rehnquist was 84, and she was very pleased to hear it. Passengers were already disembarking when Ben reached the platform. He had arranged earlier for a wagon from the livery to be waiting for him. Doc had warned him that Woodhouse would arrive with trunks, bags, books, and enough equipment to support the use of a wagon. Ben supposed it was something Doc had learned in the course of corresponding with Woodhouse, or perhaps in his correspondence with Woodhouse's father. Ben had been assured that Doc had full confidence in the new doctor's skill and education, and had not made the decision to leave on a whim. Neither had Woodhouse's decision to leave Boston for Frost Falls been without serious contemplation. Ben was left with the impression that the coming and going was an exchange of sorts, a bargain made, and he wondered if that could possibly be right or good. What he knew for certain was that he had no say in it, then or now, and what he owed the doctors was the fulfillment of a promise made. Ben saw Mr. and Mrs. Reynolds step down from the train, Mr. Reynolds first, then his wife. Their fearless toddler twins jumped gleefully to the platform without assistance and begged to be allowed to do it again. They were bundled up and carried off, one under each of their father's arms. Mrs. Reynolds followed, smiling indulgently and waving to Ben as she passed. A few more